the second time in a week, we got a story involving a black pregnant mother who claims the hospital mistreated her. Mercedes Wells says she was wheeled out of Crown Point, Indiana's Franciscan Health Crown Point Hospital by security while she was in active labor and forced to give birth on the side of the road 8 minutes later. The Wells family says they spent 6 hours at the hospital pleading with staff as Mercedes' contractions came just a minute apart. Despite her pain, a nurse sent her home without even letting her see a doctor. Mercedes, her husband Leon, and their attorney, Cannon Lambert, joins us right now. I'm glad to have all three of you. Okay. So Mercedes and Leon, take us through going to the hospital. You're going in. What happens when you initially go in?
When we get there, we're put in a triage room. I'm going through labor. My contractions are hitting me. I'm squeezing my mom's hand, what she said, so hard that it felt like her hand was going to break, literally. The nurse comes in and she says, okay, I'm going to check you. She checks me. She says I'm only 3 centimeters, so she wanted to wait for 2 hours and come back and check me again. I began walking through the halls, and everyone on staff sees me in agony and pain. They see that I'm in active labor.
So they see it, and all of a sudden, okay, so what then happens? I mean, no one's coming to your aid? No nurse, no doctor? Are y'all yelling, saying, can we see a doctor? Can we see somebody? She is clearly about to have this baby.
Yeah. The nurse said that I wasn't in active labor. And the doctor never came into my room. I never heard from a doctor, not one time.
And y'all were in the hospital 6 hours?
Yes.
6 hours, not one time a doctor comes in?
No. But she told me the doctor's order said I had to be discharged.
Wait. The nurse said the doctor's orders were for you to be discharged, but the doctor never saw you.
Exactly.
Cannon, what the hell?
You're right to ask that question. You put your finger directly on the issue. The unbelievable circumstances of this situation are these. They let a woman who was in active labor, leave their hospital when they never allowed her to be seen and examined by a doctor. And yet they used that as the excuse for why she was discharged. And by the way, she was discharged and accompanied by security. Now, you explain to me why that is.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, the reality of this is very simple, right? We should be able to agree. We should be able to agree that a pregnant woman who is in active labor should be seen by a doctor. We should be able to agree that a pregnant woman who is in active labor and that is a season, she got 3 children beforehand, so she knows what her body is telling her. That before you discharge her, that at the very least, a doctor should be in a position to determine whether or not that's necessary. You shouldn't be making decisions based on someone's economic position or their ethnic position as to whether or not you're going to discharge somebody. You should be instead rendering care, and we don't know that happened here. We don't think that it did.
So, okay. So security escorts y'all out.
Yes.
You get in the car. Leon, what happens?
So as I'm driving, we're about 8 minutes away. We're actually about 5 minutes away at the time when my wife said she had to push 5-6 minutes away at the time. As she said, she had to push 8 minutes in. I see my baby's head coming out of my wife.
You have to pull my pants down.
I pull the pants down, start pulling my pants. She's like, babe, help me pull my pants down. I have to push. And I literally see my baby's head, call 911. I'm like so afraid, like, man, I don't know what to do. I'm not a doctor. I don't have any type of medical experience. I don't know what to do. So I literally pulled over and saw, like my baby's head when I called 911, and I literally, you know, helped pull my baby out, and yeah, it was this,
So
it was definitely go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
It was definitely a scary moment, man. I just definitely didn't. I didn't know what to do, but
I take it you were afraid that if you do something wrong, that could jeopardize the health of your baby.
and my wife.
Okay,
Yep.
so you called 911. So did the ambulance arrive after you delivered the baby?
I did not stop for the ambulance. So they told me, I called 911. I'm like, what should I do? They're like, wait for the ambulance. I said, I can't wait for the ambulance. My baby's head is right here. I can't wait. And I was afraid that if we did wait, they was gonna take us back to the same hospital that this mistreated us. That was my fear. So I had to drive 30 minutes to the nearest hospital to get seen.
Wait, so when you called 911, were they coaching you through?
They ain't say nothing.
Wait, stop. You're on the phone with 911. You're not a doctor. You said, I can see my baby's head. So.
Blank. Wait on it, sir. Pull over. Wait on a ambulance. I say, ma'am, my baby's head is coming out my wife. What should I do? And I kind of lost it at the time, but I had to catch myself. And she like, just pull over the ambulance and assist you. I say, ma'am, I can't wait. I can't wait. I see my baby's head. And my wife's like, I got to push. And when she, I literally had to put my finger between my baby's head and kind of pull it out at the same time. And luckily nothing happened to my wife or my baby.
That is shocking, stunning. So okay. Y'all have had children before, so Mercedes is not like this wasn't your first rodeo. But your baby gets delivered. Did you have to cut the umbilical cord? Did you leave it attached?
We did.
You left
it. Yeah, we left it attached till we got to the hospital.
You left it attached. Now you gotta get behind the wheel. You drive to another hospital 30 minutes away?
Mm-hmm.
All right. When you roll up to the hospital, what did they say and do?
They was love. It was all love. I called the ambulance, 911 again. I told them, I said, listen, we on our way. I'm driving. I'm getting off on Calumet exit. I'll be getting off. I'll be at the hospital in 5 minutes. And he alerted. He was like, okay, I'll alert the new hospital. And they alerted him, and it was literally 20 people, 15, 20 people that's sitting out there waiting on us with blankets and, towels and a stretcher. They came out there and they helped assist us, and they greeted us with love and the respect that we deserved.
First of all, Mercedes, how's your child?
She's doing well.
Yeah, she's safe.
She's safe.
Cannon, there are absolutely no words. So have you heard from the hospital? Have you heard from anybody?
So we've been asking publicly for an opportunity to meet with the administration at the hospital, because I'm trying to figure out whether or not they believe somehow that their policies and procedures, their protocols that are in place would allow for something like this to happen. You have to imagine that they don't. We want to talk to them about why this happened, how this happened, and what they've done about it so far. They have told us that they have internal investigations that they're engaging in, and that through HIPAA, they also don't want to violate HIPAA. Well, we don't concern ourselves with HIPAA. We want to talk to them.
Wait. See, that's the same crap they said in Dallas. HIPAA,
right.
First of all,
right. And it's crap.
HIPAA applies to the patient.
That's right.
This is the patient.
And that's the point, right? I mean, Roland, you have it directly on. And I know you know about this. You know about the fact that infant mortality rates are more than three times higher in the Black community. Black women are more subjected to adverse consequences in birth than are any other group of women. And so you're right. This whole HIPAA thing, number one, you're right. It does. It applies to the patient. And guess who the patient is? The very people that want to talk to them. So that's not really a real basis for them to avoid addressing this issue. But they throw that out there because it's a red herring. All it is just is pie in the sky. The other thing that they say to us as to why they can't meet us in the way of their generalized statement that they put out is that they can't talk to us because of the fact that they have an internal investigation. Well, we want to know, what are you investigating?
Wait, hold on. If you're having an internal investigation, don't you need to talk to the people that led to the internal investigation?
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Like, who you talking to? You gonna talk to the nurse, the doctors, and not the person?
Right.
Oh,
There's, these folks are an amazing, amazing couple, and that beautiful little baby is going to have a great, great life because of them. You see a show and you see a hero right in front of us, but they should have never been in a position where they had to prove that this early. Okay? The bottom line is that there is no way in the world that a woman that is having contractions 1 minute apart should be discharged from a hospital and told that she's not in active labor. And so we want to talk to them and find out how it is that somehow is okay. We still to this day don't know whether or not the woman who was responsible for this, the nurse, whether or not she's still employed there or not. She should be discharged. She should be fired, period. That's something that instead of sending out that generalized statement that they sent out 2 days ago, that's instead what they should be letting us know. And they should let us sit and talk with them, because otherwise they put us in a position where we have no choice but to file suit. And we're not looking to try and bully anybody, but at the same time, we are certainly looking to hold people accountable.
It is amazing. I don't understand how you can have an investigation if you don't hear from the party that was hurt by this to get their side. And then once you hear from Leon and Mercedes, you then can compare to what the nurse and the doctor, and then you can pull videotapes, because cameras are all in these hospitals, and then you can pull records, and the records, if Mercedes and Leon says we never saw a doctor, then all of a sudden you pull medical reports and say, whoa, there's no doctor's name on here. But you kind of got to hit. Wow.
And see, Roland, the reality of it is that when I look at, like I said, when I look at what Leon is doing right now, when he's been asking people for assistance, we have an ask right now. Our ask right now is that people continue to press and understand that this is the type of thing that if you sweep it under the rug, if attention is not paid to this, then what they will do is they will get away with this. They'll ignore it. They will go away. They will not step to the plate. And the only thing that we can do is to continue to press. We're asking for the public, your audience, to be active in participating in the support of the Wells family. We want people to email that hospital. We want people to call that hospital. We want people to let that hospital know that this type of behavior, this type of conduct, this protocol that they have in place that would allow something like this to happen is unacceptable.
What is the email and the phone number of the hospital?
We'll get that to you right away.
Yeah, give it, because I want to be able to. First of all, what's
Franciscan Hospital, and they're in Crown Point, Indiana. And I know that.
Hold on, what's the name of the hospital?
It's Franciscan Hospital in Crown Point, Indiana. And Leon has done an excellent job in interfacing with the many, many supporters that have been kind enough to talk to him through his social media. And he's been asking for some support, and believe me, people have been doing so. But instead of sitting around and saying, like many of us do, we'll shake our head and say, this is disgusting, we know that this is wrong, there are some things that we can do. We should actively participate in supporting the Wells family. They should not have gone through this, and they should be supported.
Here, we go to my iPad. Folks, write this number down. Franciscan Health Crown Point Hospital. Phone number is 219. This is Crown Point, Indiana?
Crown Point, Indiana.
Yeah, very sure. 219-738-2100. 219-738-2100. Once y'all get an email, let me know that as well, and then I'll give it out. First of all, we're happy to hear. Mercedes and Leon, what's the name of your child?
Alina.
Elena?
Alina.
All right, then. Well, yeah, we don't need a picture of Elena. She right there on the video. The baby right there. So first of all, congratulations. First of all, thank God she's healthy. Thank goodness. Both of you are okay. That was still a traumatic experience. And listen, I've dealt with Cannon on many other cases, and so y'all are in good hands. And y'all be sure to give them hell. And Cannon, keep us abreast and updated on what happens next.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you, Roland.
All right, then. Thank you very much. Niambi, I'm going to go to you. The point that Cannon made, we've covered on this story many times. The fact that black women die 3 times higher rate than white women in childbirth. And it ain't got to do with money. Serena Williams, when she was having her child, I mean, she had to damn near cuss out the hospital. And here she married to a white billionaire. She got $2, $3, $4, $500 million herself. So this is not an issue of class or money. It literally is a matter of black and white.
Absolutely. And when people don't see you as fully human, they don't see your pain, your very real needs as urgent, and they treat them as optional, you get things like this. And thank God that the Wells family and their baby are safe, and the same for the woman in Dallas. But how many of these cases that we don't see? How many people don't have the luxury of video or social media, and we don't know their faces now? We don't know their names and where these things happen. And we know the difference maker in many of these cases is having Black OBGYNs, Black nurses who actually take women seriously. The fact that someone could look at this woman with tears in her eyes, even if you didn't believe that she was in, quote, active labor with 1-minute contractions, you didn't even take a second look. You didn't even try to assist. You didn't try to make her feel better. I mean, you basically treated her like an inconvenience and treated her life like it was just nothing, something to discard. So as you say, Roland, I mean, this is, I think, highlighting how critical it is for us to be in these spaces. And when we think about all that is happening to medical education in this country, and with this administration trying to cap the amount of student loans people can get, it's going to be an even higher bar for many of us to enter this profession when we know we are so desperately needed to prevent the Wells family and others like them from having to go through something like this. I mean, the stories and the lawsuits are endless, and it has not resulted in any change.
And Teresa, you know who real quiet? All the pro-life folk real quiet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it makes you want to think about who the pro-life is really for. You know, there's so many conversations as it relates to women and abortion, and and it's daunting to hear. One, I'm still taken back by the story, just hearing it in full detail, because you won't really hear it on mainstream about this outside of clips. But, I'm glad they were on this platform telling this story, because as we can see, there are more stories that are happening. There are more bills that are passing locally, but of course nationally. But I think we really need to start addressing not just the accountability of the hospitals, but of the workers. So, really, I think that woman, I read an article that had to say that she was part of a union. So we really need to start holding them accountable as well, because, there could be backlash on the employees, but we also have to start looking at some of these employees who work for these unions and making sure they're being held accountable, because she could be fired, but she also could be put back on because of the way her union contract is. So I think there's so much to look at, but at the end of the day, we're talking about human life. Black, brown, or indifferent. And when we talk about pro-life, we need to be thinking about every single person that comes in and out of establishment that's looking for health, wellness, and peace.
Nkoni?
Like Teresa said, I'm absolutely stunned. One thing that I didn't know about the story before we heard from the Wells family is that they were escorted out. Roland, that means they were put out of the hospital. I mean, I'm sure that this woman was in fear of her life at that point. She was actively in labor, being put out of a hospital. I can't imagine how that would have felt, but I want us to dig more into the statistics that we were talking about. We know that the Black mortality rate is 3 times higher, but let's compare it against white women. They're only facing 14.5 deaths per 100,000 live deaths, whereas for Black women, that's 50 deaths per 100,000 live deaths. That's scary. That's scary. And that's something that's happening right here in the United States, the best healthcare system in the world. I mean, honestly, we can't continue to see this unconscionable miscarriage of justice when it comes to Black women. I thank God that this woman had a husband that was able to be there and advocate on her behalf. But I think about all of the single Black women that walk into hospitals every day that don't have a partner, that don't have an advocate, that don't have anybody with them, that don't have anybody there to drive them to the next hospital that's 30 minutes away. It's unconscionable. We cannot continue to allow this to happen.
Hell, I think about the brothers who ain't never had a kid before, and they had 2 previous ones. Imagine if you ain't never had a kid, you like, I don't know what the hell is going on. Look, Leon had to be scared to death, Mercedes scared to death, and again, anything could have happened. Imagine that umbilical cord was tied around that child's neck. I mean, anything could have happened in that situation. Listen, I hope they sue the hell out of this hospital. I mean, light Franciscan health ass up. Y'all, here's the phone number again. 219-738-2100. 219-738-2100. I want y'all to blow their phone lines up. I want them, listen, and listen, y'all, let them know. Matter of fact, let's find who the hospital administrator. They got their information on here. Find a provider, condition, service, patient resources. Because, I mean, they need to hear from folk, because this makes absolutely no sense on here. They got services. Yeah, they ain't got none of their people on here. Don't worry about it. We're going to find out who the hospital administrator is, and we're going to let y'all know how to hit them up, because they need to hear from the community, because this is just absolutely shameful what took place to that family.
Hello, I'm Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO of Fanbase, and I'm here with a very important message. We are at a turning point in the Black community where we must have equity in the apps we use that scale to billions of dollars. But this time, we own the infrastructure, we own the culture, and we shape the future. And Fanbase is the future. Fanbase combines the free functionality of Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube into an all-in-one platform built for the evolution of social media and monetization. With over 1.4 million users, that's real proof that we are shifting the conversation of tech ownership and equity for creators. So right now, I want you to go to startengine.com/fanbase and invest today. The minimum to invest is $399. That gets you 60 shares of stock in Fanbase at $665 a share. This marks a turning point in Black ownership of social media. If we don't take this opportunity to own social media right now, we will always be customers to our own creations. And that can't go on. So once again, go to startengine.com/fanbase and invest today. We must own the platforms where our voices live, our stories matter, and where our culture drives the world. Thank you.